much. So my question is, I am solely focused into myself.
Okay.
And lately, within the last couple of days, I want to say 3, 4 days, this man has been hitting me up constantly. I'm not a big texter, but he is.
Okay.
And I don't know how to tell him I'm not interested.
Okay. How did he get your number?
I believe one of my children gave it to him.
Really? How old are your children?
They're teenagers, 18, 15, and 16.
Okay. So had you met him before he started messaging you?
I did have one interaction with him. It was briefly.
Was he trying to hit on you?
At the interaction? No. It was very professional and cordial.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So this is like a parent trap situation, huh?
I don't know. And I'm like, how do I tell this man, I'm not interested?
No, you just be honest. You can't avoid hurting people's feelings. Like you can say things in the most kind way possible, and some people are just gonna take offense. So you're just like, hey, I just want to just be honest. Also, I don't really know what your intentions are, so forgive me if I misread this, but I am not really trying to date anyone. So if that's something that you are interested in, I can't reciprocate that.
Okay. I just I'm a big listener, and people tend to gravitate to me.
Right.
And I'm I feel what do I do?
Yeah, that's it. This is a good practice for setting boundaries. Do you struggle with that?
No, I am very strict about my boundaries.
Okay, well then be strict then, babe. This is the perfect opportunity to be strict. Just let them know. Yeah, I'm not interested, especially if there's an overt vibe of him trying to, flirt with you or engage you in a romantic way. I'm not interested. Just let him know.
Okay. All right, that was my only question. Thank you.
No problem, Jazz. You take care, love.
Likewise.
All right, people. This is a dating and relationship Q&A. If you have any questions pertaining to dating and relationships, any problems pertaining to dating and relationships, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up, and I will solve your issue, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Hello. Hello. All right. How are you qualified to answer? What world do y'all live in where it's you need qualifications to give advice? I don't have a degree in advice. I don't think that's something they give out, but that's how. That's how. Yeah, I went to Harvard for advice. Appreciate you, Christy. All right. What kind of questions do we have, people? What kind of questions do we have? Hold on. It was AI, Danny? Is that what it was? Yeah, I would say me being cute is definitely a good reason to listen to me, for sure. Stick around. How about you suspend judgment for a while and see if you watch, if it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. What advice do you have for us broke dudes when it comes to dating? How old are you? You gotta start there. Because at a certain age, being broke ain't that big a deal as long as you can afford dates. But we're talking early 20s, 20, 21. I would say 23 is the cap of that. After 23, it's it's not going to be a good situation. It's not going to be a good situation. But there are guys who like, are you looking for a relationship or are you trying to like hook up? Like, what's the situation? You know me, I optimize for relationships. I'm not really the hookup guy, but no judgment, obviously. But if you're saying hookups, you can achieve that at any age when broke. To be honest with you, but if you want something serious, that's going to be part of the package, brother. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. What's up, Knuckles? What would you say are the top three places to go on a first date? It depends, man. Like, I'm very nuanced. So if a guy is asking me that question, I'll give you an example. I say the two sides of attraction of spark and safety, right? Spark is essentially desire. Safety is anything that facilitates the woman feeling emotionally connected to you, right? And trusting you and safe with you, right? So there are some guys who are really good with spark and there are other guys who are really good with safety. And it's rare for guys to be good at both, which is what I teach, how to be good at both. And so I had a client who he was a safety guy. He was really good at safety, but he struggled with spark. And some of the dates he was going on were like coffee dates or dinner dates. And he wasn't successfully getting past like the first or second date. And I told him, you got to get better with spark. Now, you need to get better with that behaviorally. You need to integrate those behaviors so that you can facilitate it no matter where you are. But in the meantime, you can leverage the strategy where you compensate for your internal lack of spark with the environment itself. Meaning, the date should be very stimulating environments. Like Barcade. Barcade was my favorite dating spot. Something fun, right? Like you could do Top Golf or something like that. Something getting, you two into your bodies, into the present moment. The worst place for a guy who gives primarily safety to go on a date is an environment where the environment itself is boring. You only need to go to a boring environment. That's only okay if you're a very stimulating person yourself, meaning you give off a lot of spark. You're a very interesting person. You are exciting. Don't go to boring environments. Yeah, charismatic. If you're lacking in charisma and stuff like that, coffee dates are going to kill you because you are the date. You know what I mean? Like in that context, you are the experience. And if it's a boring experience or overly safe experience, she's going to not want to see you again, more than likely. All right, let's see if Shorty connects real quick. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
I was just wondering, like, should I give up on a connection or should I keep going, and like how to stop self-sabotaging
Okay.
during a relationship?
Tell me what's going on.
So I'm a little nervous too, by the way.
You're good. Just take your time. Tell me what's going on. Like, what's the problem currently?
Okay, so I was dating this guy for 8 months and he was my first boyfriend, and I feel like he had like a lot of patience with me and he was graceful with me, but I just kept messing it up by like blowing up his phone and stuff.
Okay.
And I feel like now he's like not interested in me anymore. So I don't know if I should give up or
How old are you?
keep trying it with him.
How old are you?
I'm almost 22.
Okay, almost 22. Okay, well, that makes sense. You're young, right? You're very young.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you said you were dating for 8 months. How did you meet him?
On Hinge.
Okay. What caused you to blow his phone up?
I don't know. I feel like I get anxious.
Okay.
And like if I'm having a bad day, I want to speak to him, but he doesn't necessarily like calling and stuff like that. So I feel like, if you're like dismissing me, then I'm going to keep calling you. Unfortunately.
Got you. And y'all were in a
And
committed...
he's told me to stop a bunch of times, but I just like keep doing it for some reason.
Got you. And y'all were in a committed relationship?
Yeah.
Okay, so you dated for 8 months, but
Yeah.
how long were y'all in a committed relationship?
Since like the second month, but because I kept doing it, he was like, okay, let's just go back to being friends.
Okay.
So like we stopped dating for a while and we're just trying to I guess he was just trying to see if I would stop.
And you didn't?
He says stalker tendencies. Listen, I'm not that bad.
And you didn't stop when he tried to see if you were going to stop?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason behind you blowing his phone up was always because you were bored or you were going through something and you needed somebody to talk to?
Yeah.
It was never like you suspecting anything on his behalf?
No, I never thought he was like with another girl or anything like that.
Okay. So what does your social life look like?
I just go to work and go home.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
really have a social life. I'm
Makes
trying to
sense.
get out more though, but
Lolo, don't ever blow my phone up. I see what you just said in the chat. I'm going to tell you this right now. We were doing good, Lolo, me and you. We've been here. But what you just said, if he
I don't
likes
think
you,
he's annoyed he's not your man, but you don't know how many times I blew up his
I'm
phone.
gonna tell you right now, you blow my phone up. I don't care. I don't care how beautiful you are. I can't do it. Okay, so the core of your problem is okay. So do you know what anxious attachment means?
A little bit.
Okay, so that's like you have a fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
And the problem with people who are anxiously attached is they make the person they're with their entire world. Their entire world. That's what you did in this situation. So it's good that you weren't like calling him because you were suspecting of cheating or anything like that. It was just you wanted validation and attention and to be stimulated.
Yeah.
And that's you put all that pressure onto him. See, the problem is people oftentimes struggle with dating people with anxious attachment because that need that they have kind of drains all the energy and all the life out of the relationship.
Yeah.
That constant reassurance, that constant attention that they need a lot of the time, it can be a lot. So when you make one person your entire world, you just put too much pressure on the connection. Okay?
No, exactly.
So
Yeah.
here's the solution to that. You can't it's hard to stop a behavior if you don't have something to replace it with. So it would be very difficult for you to be like, okay, I'm just not going to call him so much. But it's like, okay, but now what do? I still want attention. I still want to be validated. I still want someone to hear about my day, So you have to replace that with something. So the best advice that's typically given to people who have anxious attachment is to pretend like they will always be single. Just pretend. And then to ask themselves, if I were to always be single, how can I build a life where I would still be happy? And then whatever the answer to that question is, you go do that. So that could be there's certain meaningful hobbies that you engage in. That could be there's friends that you make, right? There's communities that you join. Because when you have certain friends that you can call or things you can engage in, you need less attention and validation and stimulation from the person you're romantically involved with.
Okay.
So that would naturally.
Yeah, I need to get more hobbies and stuff.
Yeah, you have to build a life, love. That's it. You just have to build a life. So you build a life and build a life that you could be happy with if you were to remain single. Build that life, and then when you build that life, this won't really be a problem for you moving forward.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, it's just hard because I do try to do that, but I'm going to school full time and I work full time, so.
You don't have to do it all at once. Build it piece by piece. That may start with you making one friend or finding one new hobby that doesn't require a whole bunch of your time. But it's best that whatever you engage in, it is meaningful. It's not just busy work. Some people tell anxious attachers to just do a lot of busy work, and that works short term. It doesn't work long term. What works long term is you doing something that is meaningful, that's important to you. So you find what those things are. When you do things that are important to you and are meaningful to you, when you engage in them and you make progress on them, it makes you proud of yourself. And when you're proud of yourself, you start validating yourself internally. And when you validate yourself internally, you don't need as much external validation.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
No problem,
So
dear.
do you think like I should just leave him alone? Or should I?
When was
Because
the
I already
last
tried to like reach out to him.
when was the last time, right? If you try to reconnect with him right now and you haven't done what I said, you're just going to do the same thing.
Okay.
Your priority is to do what I just suggested, at least start walking down that path. And then if you want to try to reconnect, that's fine. But when you reconnect, it needs to be after you have put some of these pieces together so that you lessen how much you start reaching out to them.
Okay. I just feel like if time passes by, like we're both gonna move on,
That's possible.
and I don't want that to happen.
That's possible. So it's very important for you to apply this advice, right? Like as soon as
I'm
possible.
sorry, what you say?
I said, so it's very urgent that you apply this advice that I gave you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would start today if I were you. If you could figure it out.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
All right, dear. Well, keep me posted on how it goes, all right?
Okay. Thank
You
you.
have a good one. Okay. Who do we have next? Amen, Virgie. You can't hold on to someone. You got to hold on to yourself. Bars. Hello.
Hello?
How you doing, Steph?
Good. I've actually never done this before. So this is cool.
Okay.
But I keep just like seeing all these like relationship like advice lives on TikTok on
Right.
like my way home.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, why not try it? So
Why
here we
not?
are.
Let's do it. What you got going on?
It's honestly going like extremely well, and I've like never been happier. Is like what I would like to start with, but like lately I'm just like noticing. So I met my boyfriend. Let me just start there. Like about like a year and like a couple months ago off of like Bumble,
Okay.
and we just like instantly connected because I was going through alcohol stuff, and that's behind me now, like a year and whatever since I met him. I've been sober, and he had that stuff in his past, so we like really bonded over that, and that's like super beautiful. And fast forward to like today, and like I guess like the reason I keep like maybe seeing this and like seeing all these lives and like stopping and being like, should I talk to these people or like is because like we both really struggle with confidence, and we always have our entire lives. And I'm also like very open on working on myself, and always have been and always will, because that's so important. And my question for you, I guess, is more like, what are ways that I can really build up his... I know that I can't change him and he has to do it, but what are ways that I can be like really supportive in that journey for him, because I know how painful and hard it is to go through, but I want to like support him as much as I can, I suppose. It's just really hard. That's
Okay.
like one thing, I guess.
Gotcha. What are you observing that gives you the insight that he lacks confidence?
He tells me all the time, and he's told me that since day one of like, I think even on our very first phone call, like that's how insecure he feels sometimes. And so I'm really proud of him for working on it, like with me. But I just feel like, I guess that was a good question, because the core of this is probably more like we've more recently had a couple arguments that have been not the best, and I think at the core of it is both of our confidences like just are not doing well in those moments. So like our ugliest selves come out, and we both are very much the same person in a lot of ways, and we argue the same, and it's very explosive, or can be. And I guess that's really more like what I'm struggling with, is like how to navigate like communication in a non-scary way without all of the confidence stuff coming up, you know, like being so reactive and all of that stuff is maybe more like what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. So describe what the conflict looks like. What makes it scary?
It's scary because we both are too reactive. Like, we both are too quick to not listen to the other person in any argument. So do you mean, like, is your question like more specifics of like what we're arguing about?
Sure. And then what happens when you argue about it?
For example, like last weekend, just like laying out boundaries. So like boundaries with like what we're okay with as far as like family goes, like how much time we're spending with them, like on our weekends, because I don't live with him quite yet, and on our weekends we go see his family. Sometimes when we do go see his family, which has maybe been 5 or 6 times since I've actually, like probably more like 8 or 9 times since I've met him. But we spend like 3 or 4 days together, like in his parents' house. And it's just a lot for me.
Right.
And I've made that clear in a kind way many times. And so we've tried to set like boundaries, or I've tried to set boundaries of like, hey, I need to just like go outside of this house with you and not be around your family for this amount of time. Like, even if it's going to a Walmart, and like, he's been okay with that. But there's just some like other things that dip into like my insecurities with a family member of his that I know I trust him 100%, but I don't like trust her as much. And I don't super want to get into like super details of that, but I know that myself, like in any argument or any conversation with him, when she is involved or his family is involved, I'm not my best self, because I go into like almost like a fight or flight where I'm like, I don't feel good enough, because I immediately am like, I don't want to lose you. And I don't want to do that anymore. But it's like so hard to stop that if he's also that coming right into this, like an argument.
How did the argument start?
What was that?
How did the argument start?
I'm trying to think of like an example, because I don't necessarily want to go into that. It started, I guess I could. So the girl, I have this weird feeling that she just like clearly, not feeling, from what I've seen in like the however many times I've met her, which is like 10 to 12 times or whatever, and I like her. I just can tell that it's like, it's just a weird thing. Like, she likes him more than she should, and like does weird things. Like, she stares at him when she has like his shirt off, and like which sounds so bad. I get it, okay? I totally get it. That's just like one crazy example. But I know that a lot of instances, like, I am maybe overreacting, and I recognize that. This is his brother's girlfriend, by the way. And it's just a weird relationship to me, like, between him and her. They seem closer than they should be. And I trust him, because I know that in his heart, I know that he's the kind of person that wouldn't cheat and wouldn't, like, he's just kind of more like naive about it in a way. Like, he is a people pleaser all around with everyone involved. And I'm sorry, I'm throwing a billion words at you. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this before. So, I just don't know how to navigate those conversations, because he gets so angry quickly, and I do too in any argument. When it's passionate.
How do you broach the subject? How do we transition into argument mode?
Got you. In the car ride home, for example, about this, I think I mentioned, actually, no, I'm sorry. It actually goes a little earlier. So during the weekend that I was with his family, at this cabin that his parents live at, we went on a bike ride to get away, because I was so frustrated and couldn't even focus, because I was just all the things I was seeing happen in front of me. Like, it was just ridiculous. And I just couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't like keep it inside. And so I was like, let's go for an e-bike ride. And then I essentially blew up on him. It was definitely me, that bike ride, where I was like, I made a comment where I said, so like, it was probably sarcastic about her, because he probably said something super innocent, like something about like her, she gave him like this giant bag of like 12 different brand new sheets for no reason, because she's like obsessed with like collecting things. But he made some comment about that. It was like it was, there was nothing wrong with what he said, but I said something sarcastic back because I was so hurt and so exhausted mentally, that it just came out like that. Like, I didn't mean for it to. And then that ensued like an argument in full, like, and we actually resolved it eventually, but it came back up in the car again.
Right.
And then, yeah. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to like, is it really just putting in the hard work of like recognizing this is what's happening every single time that I have a conversation with him? Like, if it gets heated, I have to like check myself, like.
Okay, so a lot of the arguments that get heated are around this woman, who is your boyfriend's brother's sister.
Yes, but not all of them. Not all of them. It's a pattern. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get a bigger picture here, but or give a bigger picture. But it's more of like the pattern of any argument that is like that we're passionate about. I guess I don't know that there's like any specific issues that keep coming up, I guess.
So every time y'all have a disagreement, it turns into like a big argument?
Right.
Okay.
Well, only if we're like passionate about it. Like, I don't know when we argue, but when we do,
Okay.
I'm just like tired of it being explosive because we're so similar
Are you the one
in how we argue.
Are you the one who broaches the subject?
Am I the one who brought this up to him?
No, I know you brought up the situation with the brother's girlfriend, but like when y'all do argue, does it start with you voicing some degree of a concern?
I would maybe say yes to that. Maybe.
Okay. Are there any patterns around what you get impassioned about?
I mean, right now, yes, because I'm going through a phase in my life where, yes, because I probably come off sounding a little more crazy or jealous because of just my experience. Like, I've recently lost like 80 pounds, or not recently, but like I lost like 80 pounds in my past, like in the past 5 years, and then I lost another like 25 in the last couple months. So I'm more, I guess what I'm saying is I'm more conscious lately, and I'm working as hard as I possibly can, and I've told him that I've been on that page with him, like, hey, this is why I'm more self-conscious, this is why I'm not as confident, and I'm working on it. But yes, I think a lot of times it does feel like when I'm voicing my opinions about like, oh no, I don't really feel like watching like, I don't know, like an X-rated movie with you, like where there's just naked chicks all over, like that's not going to make me feel good. And I think it just makes him feel like he gets really reactive and like and immediately goes into like, well, I don't know what you want from me, do you want to break up, like blah blah blah. And he knows that like he's not trying to say the breakup comment or like statement, because that we've gotten in an argument early on about that too as well. Like he knows that's not what should be said.
Right.
But that doesn't change the fact that it does come up here and there when it gets heated.
So losing weight has made you self-conscious?
I've always been self-conscious, but it's been triggering for me because of all of the stuff with this family member, and because I guess also the other thing too is, and again, I'm so sorry, I'm throwing a billion words at you.
Good.
But another conversation that we've had, not necessarily always an argument, but is that like I need him to tell me with words that like, that he thinks I look good, or and not that I need it, but like it's nice, and that's how I want to receive love from him, or partially from, like, at times, like more than he can give me, it seems like at times. And I've made that clear, and he's made it clear that he's going to make an effort. But I guess maybe just that's at play too, like with my self-confidence. Yeah, whatever that person just said about being triggered, like the trigger thing lately is just, I don't know how to stop it. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Okay. How long have y'all been together?
Last like a year and a couple months now we've been together. That's when I met him, I guess, like a year.
Gotcha. How did y'all meet one another?
We met on Bumble.
Okay. And how old are you two?
I'm 33 and he's like 10 years older, so he's like 43.
Okay. Have you been in any previous relationships?
Yeah, I was in like a 7-year thing and I didn't get married, but that was like 7 years ago.
Okay. Why did that end?
That ended, I was really young, like, so I was, we couldn't grow together because, like, we couldn't, I think I was too immature and he was too, to be honest. But I was also like 19, so.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, in a situation like this, somebody has to be the grounded one in the relationship.
Yes.
Somebody has to be the grounded one, and neither one of you are grounded. And you're trying to change him so that you don't have to do the work. This question opened up with, like, how can I make him more confident? Well, it's not really you care too much about his confidence. I'm sure you do to some degree, but you're really trying to solve the problem of, like, how can we get this conflict to stop escalating, right? So it was like that desire. So you're like, well, maybe if he was more confident, it wouldn't go that way. But you also could change your end of the situation and help not get into these conflicts. So you have to take ownership of this. You have to take ownership of your side. Even you having a desire for him to speak a life over you and, like, to give you compliments in that way, there's nothing wrong with that inherently. But it does keep you in this loop of needing something externally to tell you how you should feel about yourself. It'll be a endless pit. It will never be satisfied. You'll feel good for that day, and then tomorrow will come and you'll need it again.
Even if it's like it's not sorry for interrupting, but it's not like it doesn't feel like it's a need. It truthfully feels like it's more of like, I think I get sad when I know that he struggles with confidence, and I have since day one, and I am someone who's like always telling him how good he looks, or, like, you know what I mean? And there's times when there's like weeks that go by where, like, I don't hear a single thing about how, like, he's like, there's just no acknowledgement of, like, hey, like, that sure looks nice, or, like, there's just nothing. So I think I get sad. I don't think, does that mean I need it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it means that not that you need it to survive, but it does mean that that's a source of validation that's very important to you.
Sure. For sure.
But that's reassurance. Reassurance is simply borrowing certainty from another party, because you don't have it within. So it's a nice to have, not a need to have. That's how it should be positioned in your head. It would be nice if he did this, and it's something you definitely can ask for. But right now, not receiving it is impacting your emotional state. Hopefully she heard that, because I don't know if she's getting a phone call right now. Let's give her a second.
I'm so sorry. I literally got a DoorDash call to come through.
You're good.
I did hear that, though.
Okay, good. So that's where the work would need to be. Because, again, this connection does not work unless one of you becomes grounded. And you can't control him. He's 40-something years old. He hasn't figured it out by now. That's not to say that he won't. But from a probabilistic frame, it's like, this is pretty much who you have. It's likely the person you have. Like I tell both men and women, don't focus on potential. You look at trajectory. Trajectory is like the direction someone is heading in. There's observable evidence of them heading in that direction. If he is willing to tell you how low his confidence is in his initial phone call with you, that's probably someone who's going to stay in the state, considering that he's in his 40s. So if you still decide to be with him, that's fine. If he makes you happy. But that means the onus is now on you. Because if you don't change your side of things, y'all going to continue having these arguments, these explosive arguments, and they're going to get worse. You're 1 year in. Resentment ain't even built up yet, for real.
That's true.
You put years of resentment on top of this and then still have the same dynamic at play, yeah, it's going to get worse. So if you don't want that to happen, if you don't want to go down that path, then you have to do the work on your end to start being able to validate yourself internally. And like the thing that you're requesting from someone else, you tell yourself. Yes, it's nice for people to tell us like that we look good. There's nothing wrong with external validation. There's something wrong with that's the only way you can be validated. And you know that's the only way you can be validated if you are in a circumstance where you don't receive it and it affects your mood.
Got you. That totally makes sense. And I think I knew before I came in here that it was all work I had to do on me, because yeah, you can't change somebody else, and obviously that's coming out through arguments. So
yeah,
I get that.
Yeah. So start giving yourself, like, hype yourself up. You know what I mean? If you like a top.
Oh no, for sure. I like I said, I am not closed off to working on myself. I will be there whether he's there or not. But
exactly.
Yeah, that was super helpful. I just wanted to figure out, in your experience though, is there things that like would be good ways to like hype up confidence?
Sure. What are your values?
What are my values?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to answer that right now. I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
No one, any person I've asked that question to, I'm sure this is going to end now because I'm making this statement and people in the chat are hearing me.
Yeah.
Never asked that question and received the answer. Nobody knows what their values are. They never thought about it. They never knew that that's something that they should think about. But you should, because your values serve the foundation of your identity. Give you some examples. I'll walk you through it. So me, family oriented, health and fitness is important to me. I'm a Christian, so connection with God is important to me. Contribution is important to me. Personal growth is also important. So those are just a handful of my values, right? Now, when I write those values down and have clarity on that, I can lean into them more. As I begin to take action in ways that are in alignment with my values and make progress on those actions or activities, I begin to feel proud of myself. That feeling of being proud of yourself is that internal validation. So contribution is important to me. How do I contribute? I answer questions like yours in this live. I work with my clients. As I do that and I help people, I'm proud of myself. I'm validated. No one can strip that from me. So I am, in a sense, more confident. I'm less concerned with people's opinion, because the things I say about myself, the thoughts that I have, and the behaviors I engage in are in alignment. And the more they are in alignment, the more of a strong foundation I have. Okay? So I don't know if you're still here because you just kind of dropped off. I'm sure you're still in the room. But the first step for you is to get clear on those values and to start acting in alignment with them. Big yourself up when you make progress. Start becoming proud of yourself. That will position you to validate yourself internally, and you won't feel so needy with external validation. Okay, Shelly, what's going on?
Let's see. Well, to be honest with you, I kind of made a mistake to hit this as a guest.
Okay.
But I feel like it must be meant to be.
All right, let's rock with it. Let's rock with it.
There is something like going on with me and my husband. Just a little. Well, okay. So just to give you a little bit of backstory, I was 15 when I met my husband. He was 21. So being young, right? There was, I mean, how can I say it? Because we have a very long history.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I have changed, but it wasn't until recently that I realized that I changed. And so now I'm starting to see like how incompatible we are.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because he is what I'm learning, not very an emotional person. So I'm starting to feel like he can't meet me emotionally, but I am, still holding on to the relationship, right? I mean,
Okay.
there is no divorce whatsoever. It's just me realizing that we're really incompatible because I'm really like a spiritual person. He's really like a physical person. And like I said, we met when I was 15. And I feel like this is where our problem like started. So when I met him, right, I did find out he was cheating. And it's like even to this day, he's never able, because it was with the same chick for like several years. So I did try to break apart from him. So like understanding now, back then what a lot of us did not know, like gaslighting. So even when I would like catch him, it would be like, no, it didn't happen. So now that I'm older and we might try to have conversations, he'll like, I don't want to use the word deflect, but he's still not able to acknowledge our past.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to understand like how to navigate our relationship because he watches a lot, in my opinion, a lot of webcam chicks. And so back in the day, because listening to your other guests, communication, right? So understanding that he's not an emotional person, not a communicative person. I love to communicate. I love emotions, right? And so he's like really into watching webcams. And so I want to be able to address it. He knows that it bothers me. Look, not trying to put like all our business out there, but he knows that it bothers me.
Right.
And so I'm talking all over the place, just trying to understand where we are. And so again, he does not really communicate. So even today, I mean, I know his background, his family, but far as his deep down inner thoughts, that I do not know. And if I try, it's like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to become distant. And I feel like that's one of the things that he's using to distract himself, watching webcam chicks. And so at night, especially like over the weekend, sometimes I feel like there's another woman in the bed with us because when I'm asleep on my side, I feel like that's what he's doing. So even when I like wake up, it's like he'll pretend to go back to sleep. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I didn't been all through his phone, never found not one piece of nothing. But yeah, so, and I know the age difference, right? Now it doesn't make a difference. But back then, me being 15, him being 21, it was like, yeah, I understand. Like today, as a young person, I would definitely tell the person, you need to understand what standards and boundaries are, because when you're young, you don't understand those things unless someone is teaching it to you. And so it isn't until now that I'm an adult, like real adult, just really now starting to awaken to that, because I've been in the same relationship since I've been so young. Now, don't get me wrong, when I was young, I did I had a little bit of fun, but nothing to the extent where it was like, oh man. But because I'm 15, he's 21, he's dating. And so I understand now, listening to others, that I grew up in this relationship.
Okay,
And so
how old are
I
you?
just
How old are you two?
pardon.
How old are
Oh,
you
I'm
two?
47.
Okay,
I'm 48, and he is 54.
okay. And is he watching webcams while you're in the bed with him?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever
So
have you
back in
ever
the
expressed any kind of like disapproval of that behavior?
Yeah, I've said like, oh, I know you're watching your internet chicks or whatever, and the way he handled it was, this is my phone. If I wanna, I can do, basically I can do what I want to do. I don't have anything to do with you. And so I just shut down. Because again, I look at him as an authoritative kind of figure
Right.
over me.
Right.
And again, I'm being told because I grew up in the relationship.
Exactly.
And so I'm just not really able to stand my ground, so to speak.
Right.
And I don't know how to communicate. Because to be honest with you, I'm like, well, because he's a truck driver. And it's like, well, if you do it in your truck, I don't care. You know what I mean? But it's when I feel like it's at night when we're in the bed that it seems to really frustrate me, because I don't know, it's like this weird feeling that I'm now getting, because this is a long time habit of his since internet porn or whatever came out. And so I would see it all the time. But then one day it just dawned on me. I was just like, wait a minute, he's not watching his webcam chicks. Like, what happened with that? And so it just felt like he started to become secretive with it. And so then I started to become hyper alert, and then started noticing how attached he is to his phone, how he takes it in the bathroom, takes it every once in a while, he'll
Right.
leave it.
Right. So what do you do for a living?
What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
I substitute.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a truck driver.
So is he like paying all the bills in the household, that type of arrangement?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we went through our phase where it was mostly me, and then it went over to him over these some years. So now I'm like, yeah, I'm right now I'm in my best life, because I'm like, I ain't gotta work if I don't want to. I do what I want. He take care of everything. My money is my money. No problems there.
You're paying a big price for that situation, love. I think you can't really see this objectively because you're so deeply in it and you've been in it for so long. This is not a good situation. This is not a good situation. I'm glad you accidentally hit that button. This is a terrible situation. This isn't a relationship, let alone a marriage. Because
Okay,
it's not.
let me make sure I'm tuned in. 'Cause like I said, it was by mistake that I did this one. Like, oh my God, I'm in my house
Right.
trying to make sure that no one can hear me.
Right.
That's why I'm not trying to say absolutely.
No, I get it. And I don't even need, I'm sure there's a lot more you can share, but just a little bit you did, I have an idea of other things that probably occurred. So this is not the one, love. This ain't it. Like it's not when I say it's not a relationship, it's because you can't even bring up a behavior that is clearly disrespectful. Like any rational person, most men, even if they did engage in that behavior, they would hide it. They certainly would not be watching it while in the bed with you. And then when you bring it up that you don't like that, they tell you, okay, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. His orientation towards you is like he knows you're not going nowhere, so he gonna do what he want. And that positions you to be consistently disrespected. He might justify it in his head, where it's like, okay, well, if I'm paying the bills, then yeah, I should be able to do this. She should just shut up and be happy because, like you said, you get to keep your money and stuff like that. That's how those dynamics work a lot of the time. When, like, I know a lot of women want provider men, but it's going to be a very rare guy who's going to want to pay for everything, and then you have freedom. Two things normally don't go together. Part of the covert contract is if I'm going to pay everything, you ain't free. You're going to get on my program. So that's the situation here. This is not something that's workable. Because for something to be workable, two people have to be moving in good faith. Good faith means you're on the same team. That's not the situation here. He's on his team. So you can't work on a relationship or a marriage if both parties are not moving in good faith. So if I were you, I would be preparing an exit. This is not something that is salvageable. Or you can make peace with like how things are. I mean, clearly I don't think you're happy with it, which is why you're here. I know it was an accident, but you know, you asked a question. So this is how things are going to go. Your gut is telling you that he's possibly cheating. I will say, I can't tell you for sure, but I will say, if I was a betting man, I would say he absolutely is. Because he's a truck driver, so he has opportunity. He already has shown you that he's willing to disrespect you and watch cam footage in the bed while you're laying there, so he don't really respect you at all. And he has past evidence of cheating for years with the person. That definitely, he's maxed out the cheating attributes. So again, I can't say for certain. I don't want to be like, oh, he's absolutely doing it. I'm saying like the highest probability, especially if you're seeing secretive behavior going on, odds are absolutely. So you haven't yet had to be on your own 2 feet. You haven't yet.
Never.
Yeah, you haven't yet individuated. You know, individuation is like you start to form a sense of self and be grounded in your own identity without depending upon others. Like, yeah, there could be other people in your life, but it's like you got you, right? You never had the conditions in life for that to occur. And I think it's scary for you because you don't know life without this person. They're probably a big part of your identity. You likely don't even know who you are if they're not in your life. Very scary. I get it. But sometimes the best action you can take that's going to bring you to the life you are always supposed to live is the scary choice.
Yeah, and I mean, we spend like all of our time together. I can always call him. He always pick up. Tells me he loves me 100 times a day. But then there's just, it's like, I don't know. It's like he's another kind of person too.
Well, yeah, because
like,
you're easy to get along with. It's easy to be like, I love you if like you don't speak up for yourself. Or if you bring up an issue, he just, dismisses it. And then it's like, and this isn't a gender thing, by the way. If a man called me with the same story, I'll tell him the exact same thing. Like, you're with a bad faith person. Like, yeah, it's easy to quote unquote love you because it's like you're not bringing up any kind of issues. If you started doing that, you would hear those I love yous less.
Okay, so I guess I want to bring up one more thing, and it's still connected to, and I just find myself just like overthinking on this like all day, and I'm just like trying to find ways that I can treat these as just passing thoughts, and it's like you're not going to, because I do have my online business that I do in addition to substituting. So I have, other things that I can do other than sit here and think about this all day long.
Right.
But I find myself just being in this loop where I just keep going over, these same thoughts over and over and over again.
Right.
And it's not the thoughts of him cheating, it's just the thought of how we lack communication and how I'm not able to like really express myself. And then, like I said, I go through his phone. He asleep because when he is in the bed watching, it's while I'm asleep and I'm turned on my side. And so I can just feel it. Like my intuition is just like, yeah, you know what he's doing. Like, cause I could just, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I understand.
just
I
feel
understand that, love. You told me that already. But what's like the new question that you have? And before you answer that, if the new question that you have relates to this relationship and how to change something,
Yes.
that's the wrong question
Well,
because the
yeah,
relationship
because
doesn't work.
no, and I just wanted to get your thought on this other behavior that is weird to me. So, like on Instagram, like he follows like what they call them, like
I'm gonna stop you,
profiles
Shelly.
with,
I'm gonna stop you
with
right
no
there.
posts.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Whatever you're about to say is not important. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
It's not important because in my mind, the solution to whatever you're about to say is leave. I don't even need to hear any more details as to what he's doing because just off of the one detail you gave me, I'm like, leave that. So asking about like other behavior, that's just, I mean, I guess if you're curious, like, yeah, you can ask questions like that, but you should be applying all of your mental resources to exiting, not figuring out why he's doing what he's doing. That's a waste of time. Even if I did magically give you an answer, it's like, okay, good. Now you know what he's doing. Cool. Now what's next?
Okay. Because I'm not going to be able to talk to him about this. It's just not going to go anywhere. It's like I still feel like I'm a kid.
If this was a workable situation, I would tell you. Honest to God.
It's not.
If this was a workable situation, last thing I want is people like to leave each other. I'm not one of those guys who are like, just break up. It's too much. It's not worth it. Break up. No. If it's workable, I'll tell you it's workable. This ain't workable. You ain't got someone you can work with.
Okay. And yes, to answer one of your guest questions, yes, we do. We have 3 children together. 28, 24, and 21.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a full-grown family, and that's another thing too.
Yeah. And
It's just
my heart goes
all
out
these
for you.
years over.
Yeah, I have empathy for you, love. Like, this is a tough situation to be in. But and I'm not saying you have to do everything right now either. But I would advise for you to start moving in that direction. Start getting your ducks in a row. Because this ain't like, you just said you had kids. It's hard to leave when you have kids. But guess what happens when you don't? They form their conceptualization of love based on mommy and daddy's connection. So if you have boys, they learn like, oh, you just shut women down. If you have girls, it's like, oh, well, I should just do whatever the person says and not ever bring up an issue and just be small. That's like generational curses, you know? So
Because we don't argue, we don't fight. I mean, our kids are grown, but we're still a close-knit family. It's just really,
right.
and I have talked to my kids about how they see us and I've always, made sure that they understood that we're not a perfect family, that we have dysfunctions like anybody else, but it's not on, they don't see it on the surface. So I just, try to see how they saw us as a couple.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I thank you so much.
No problem, love. Come back anytime, all right?
All right,
All right,
thank you.
Shelly. You take care.
Bye.
The kids can feel it though. They can feel it. They're observant. But I have a lot of people come in and be like, we have a great relationship. We never fight. We never argue. I'm like, that's not good. When you're in a situation where there's never any conflict, somebody is betraying themselves and pushing that shit down. They want to say something, but they're like, I want to rock the boat. And they're going to explode one day. That ain't a good thing. But it's so many people think that is a good thing, though. It's very interesting. I think she really didn't expect that answer, which is crazy. Yeah, you got to like see from her perspective. Like, this is what's normal for her because this is what she grew up in ever since she was 15. So I understand that. But this isn't a simple like, oh, we have a dysfunction. Like everyone has a dysfunction. It's like, yeah, everyone has flaws. Every family or relationship is going to have its flaws. I agree. But there's levels to this shit. There's levels to this shit. Somebody out there getting suplexed right now. Someone out there getting hit with the people's elbow. Buddy took the arm band off. He threw it. He ran to one side and ran to the other. That's their life right now. That's a different situation. That's a totally different situation. That is a higher level problem than like someone arguing on where they're going to dinner. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. All right, what else we got? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. What can I do for you?
Okay. So, let me take one. But it's probably about like 6 months ago, and the first time that we FaceTimed, we like hit it off. Everything was great. He was very open and like vulnerable about just where he was at in life and the things that he was wanting out of life. And we connected on that level. But he was more open about like the things that he was going through at the time.
Right.
And I'm a little bit more, I would say, not advanced in life, but he's just kind of like he's going through like a master's program. So he's in school right now.
All right.
And so his financial like situation isn't the best, I would say. And my situation is a little bit different than his. I'm a little bit more established than he is, I guess you can say. Just as far as like I own my own business, I'm very like stable. We both have kids, but I feel like the relationship is kind of just like his stressors. He doesn't really know how to handle his everyday stressors just because he kind of is going through school and also too like his financial situation, but it's kind of almost being like put off on me. I feel like I'm carrying the weight of those stressors. Yeah. And when it comes to me, I'm more of a person, like if I don't like to bother, like if I'm in a relationship, if I am going through stuff, if it's things I can handle, I don't put it off on my partner. But I feel like because I'm more like I take everything in and how people feel. So his stressors, like if he's stressed out and he's telling me about a situation, I'm taking on those, and it's kind of like almost a weight on me right now.
Right.
But it's like I'm kind of going back and forth because I'm like, should I be in this situation? But I also know that this is how relationships work. But I'm also trying to tell him to like be a little bit more positive, be a little bit more optimistic when it comes to certain things. But yeah, I feel like it's just more weighing me down. So.
Okay. So the problem is you're taking on some of his emotional burdens as well as, are you taking on more financial responsibility?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I just feel like I'm more here about it.
Okay, so it's literally just he's emotionally dumping onto you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is he like just complaining?
I mean, it's just more of like telling me how his day went, the things that have happened. And again, to me, I'm always like that person. Like I'm a lot more optimistic, and I'm always thinking like it could be a lot worse. I'm very solution based, and he's just not. He kind of more lives in like a negative state, and it kind of weighs on him for days. And I can kind of tell like it kind of plays an effect to our relationship, even though he doesn't like take it out on me or anything. It's just more of, it's just like a weight. I'm like, you're over there stressed out, and I almost feel like I don't know. I almost feel bad for even like my life is going a lot more well, so I feel a little bit bad sometimes, and I'm like I'm not really supposed to feel that way, but
Right.
yeah.
So what is he complaining about? Just financial struggles?
Family, financial struggles, sometimes school, which I understand. That's a little bit hard when you do have kids and you're trying to also raise them, and then you're also trying to, take care of yourself, like have some sort of self care, and then also, he's in a master's degree program, so also balance that out.
Right. How frequently
Yeah.
do we have these type of conversations?
Um, I would say it's at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay, so pretty consistent.
Yeah.
How frequently
very
do y'all
consistent.
how frequently do y'all talk and see each other?
So he lives in California. I live in Arkansas. The last time I saw him was the beginning of June. So I try to see him about, I would say once a month or like every other month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how frequently do y'all talk per week?
Oh, every day. You
Every
like
day.
from morning to night.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What do you like about him?
I would say that what I like about him opposed to my past relationship is that he cares to grow and evolve as far as like just where he sees himself at, and like I see just a progression every day. I just think it's more of just the negativity, like thinking things won't change for him, even though like I can tell he's taking the steps to get himself, in the right direction, but it's more of just like, yeah, his negativity and kind of his mindset of things that bother me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And how old are you two?
He is 33 and I am 28.
And y'all been together for how long?
We've been we've been together for 6 months.
Okay. Are y'all in a committed relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And you met how? Dating out?
It was Threads. I don't know if you know, it's like connected
Threads.
to Instagram.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
I heard Threads is booming for that type of activity.
Oh, it is.
All right. Okay. Fellas, check out Threads. All right. So this clearly seems like it's something that's not sustainable for you. Would you agree?
I look at it like this. I feel like if you're in a relationship, I feel like you are going to go through those just situations like this to where things are going to come up. Let's just say if someone lost their job, obviously it's going to be a big stressor for them. Right. So I don't know at this point if I'm trying to prove something to him or if I'm trying to prove something to myself by staying. Because it's just like I have to expect for, if I do get married, for things like this to come up.
Okay, let's dig into that. So
Yeah.
that would imply that you have a history of doing the opposite.
Of what, leaving?
Yeah.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many relationships have you been in?
I would really only say 3. My kid's father, and then I had one in between. That only lasted for like a year, and then this one.
Okay, so this is the third one. Your kid's
Yeah.
father. How long were y'all together?
For 4 years.
4 years. Why did it end?
He was just really abusive. I will say that, like verbally and physically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that throughout the entire relationship or near the end?
It didn't start that way. It was more, I would probably say when I got pregnant, actually.
Okay.
And it was a lot of things that I missed and that I didn't, I don't know, that relationship taught me a lot. I will say that for sure. But if I would have actually got to meet his family and see the dysfunction, I probably would have never even dated him.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't until after I started having kids I was around his family, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is why, you're like this.
Okay. So you're basically viewing this situation as like, relationships are hard. I like him more than this is draining me. So this is something to stick with. Okay. So the core of his problems are financial, along with
I
like
would say
just
mostly
stress.
yes right now that he's in school.
Okay, what's he in school for?
He's actually in school to be a social worker, but I'm also like a therapist. It's like a therapist, social worker.
Okay. And financial stress in terms of like paying bills in
Yes, but he
California.
also did have a surgery, which is why he can't work. So like he had like a knee surgery last year. So he had like a military contract, so he does get paid, like get a check every month.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
but it's just like not having the extra money. He's also in an internship for his master's, like clinical hours and stuff.
What does he? So he
yeah.
doesn't do anything for a living right now. He gets the check from the military and goes to school.
Yes, and his
Okay.
internship like 5 days a week.
Gotcha. That makes sense. How long before he graduates?
He graduates in May, actually.
May of next year. Okay. So the things he's complaining about, they're all financial in nature.
I would say family and financial.
What's the family stuff like? Dealing with his children.
I mean, it's everybody, to be honest. But I will say this though, like he has some things from his past. Like I'm not gonna say everything about his
Sure,
family,
sure.
but just things with his kid's mother, which I feel like he handles that well in the best way he can.
Okay.
Things with his mom, like his brothers.
Okay.
He just really tries to like he's taken a different route in life. I will say that, and I feel like that matters to me most. That he's kind of trying to like go down a different path than his family,
Okay. Gotcha.
but it still does bother him.
Gotcha. All right. But in that context, is he complaining or he's just sharing? That sounds like a sharing situation.
Both. I would say both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. What was I about to ask you? Have you brought up to him how draining this is for you?
Yes, and I told him I feel like it's affecting the way that we are with each other,
Okay.
in which he's admitted, but it's kind of still the same thing.
So he heard you
Yes, he
and
did.
then continued doing the same thing?
Yes, and it's like I don't want to be, because like I said, I feel like you're supposed to be there for your partner, and I don't want to, tell someone while they're going through something, while they are going through a lot, like, hey, I don't want to, like, you're almost telling them that you don't want to hear them, you're invalidating their feelings.
Right.
But I'm also too, like, it is a lot on me, so I'm like, is it me? Am I the one that needs to just like tough it up till May, until he graduates? Or
Yeah, that's what this is. This is something that is all entirely dependent upon like your capacity to hold it.
yeah.
This is like I tell men all the time, and he's not intending to do this. He just is not aware of it. Especially if he's going to school to be a therapist, I know he's not aware of it. A lot of therapists I've talked to, they don't really think in terms of like masculinity, femininity. I mean, some do, but like they come from a frame of like we're the same, and I fundamentally reject that premise. So a lot of men unconsciously are seeking their mother's love in a romantic container. So they want a woman to like kind of love them unconditionally and someone who will listen to these kind of complaints, But when I coach men, I'm like, don't do that with your woman. You will ruin any kind of desire that she has for you over time. Because one, you have to protect your image of like being a winner. Like if you are going to be someone who quote unquote leads, or your woman like admires you in some way, right? Has a high degree of respect for you, you can't be coming complaining all the time to her. You just can't do that. It ruins desire. It'll give them the ick over time, and they'll just not want to talk to you like that no more. Because over time they'll begin to associate just your presence with that feeling if you do it enough. This is where you get couples like the man comes into the room, he wants to spend time with his lady, and then she finds an excuse to leave the room. Because now you've done that so much, now she's associating you with just that bad feeling. Even make you anxious, because now it's like you're preemptively anticipating feeling that way when they want to talk to you or have a conversation. It's terrible for attraction. It's terrible for polarity. So it's unfortunate that he didn't heed the advice or take the feedback that you gave him. I would imagine that he doesn't, because he doesn't have any other outlet to voice these concerns to. So that's what he would need to do, build some redundancy in his social connections so that there's other people he can have these type of conversations with. That way he can kind of keep things with you, like about the two of you, or, you know, things that are more positive in nature. But the light at the end of the tunnel potentially is once he graduates, the combination of the salary he'll get from being a therapist and the check he gets from the military may help relieve some financial stress, so he may not complain about that. But at the same time, what cautions me to like be super optimistic about this is we don't know if he's just a complainer. See the distinction? Some people are in a life situation or a season where it's like shit, like life is beating them the fuck up. And it's possible he's in that situation, like you said, surgery, family issues, he's in school, he has kids, baby mama drama, and then he is not getting the fine. There's a lot on him. So it's very possible that this is a seasonal thing. Time will tell. You will know what you're dealing with when he graduates, gets the job, and then that complaint moves. Because a lot of the time we express what is in us. An angry person will find a reason to be angry. A sad person will find a reason to be sad. It's not necessarily the external conditions that are making them feel that way. They feel that way. They look at life through that lens. Thus, they find situations to feel that way about. They find ways to express that due to this external event. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So time will tell which one of the two categories he falls into. I'm hoping it's the category where it's just this is a seasonal thing. But if you find out that it is a character flaw, you're not going to have the capacity. Okay?
So I just have one more question. So how would you go about, I guess, approaching, like, just me asking him, or telling him or bringing it up, I guess. Pretty much telling him, like, my capacity is pretty short. Because you still want your partner to come to you about things. But my thing is, it's like, sometimes it feels like there's no solution. Like, he's not really solution-based. So how would you, I guess, bring up to your partner that...
That's a character flaw.
The capacity.
That's a character flaw. He doesn't have an internal locus of control. He has an external locus of control. He should know what that means if he's trying to be a therapist. When you say he's not solution-based, he does not have an internal locus of control. Meaning he does not think he can change things. He lives life as if things just happen to him. So what you just said was very important, because if he lives life as things just happen to him, he's the second category. He's someone that's just going to complain. So the play here is to encourage him to find another outlet and to kind of put that standard onto him. Right? So I want to see this out of you. Like, I see that potential in you, but like, I want to see, you know, I see you as someone who's very capable, who can make change, who can go out there and do anything you want to do. I know you're struggling right now, but like, I see that. I want you to see that. Because I got to be honest, like, this is very draining for me. I'm here for you. I am. I'm here to support you. But I can't have multiple conversations per week where we're not even thinking about a solution. We're just complaining about the situation. Because that's not how I live my life. The way I live my life, because I'm sure this is true for you, right? The way you live your life is you're solution focused. Because you have an internal locus of control. You probably have a perspective of yourself like you'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, it also comes to a point to where I feel like because he has so much going on and I'm taking on his stressors, the times where I do need someone, I can't let my stressors out onto him because he's already going through a lot. So I feel like I'm adding weight. And that's another thing, is like I'm having to keep things in because you're going through a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad system. It's a bad system, and one that will get worse if you were to close the gap. Think about it. This is something that you're dealing with, and y'all a long distance. You're on the phone hearing this. Imagine if you're in his physical space and he comes in moping like Eeyore. Not a good day today, babe. This happened. Blah, 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 blah. It's not an ideal situation. So the hope is that you telling him what you need to tell him lights a fire under him to kind of like shake him out of it. Because he should, because he's becoming a therapist. I have a lot of gripes with the therapeutic industry, by the way, because a lot of the practitioners do not live up to the standard that they set for their the people, their clients. They're just giving them degrees out. I'm sorry, they're giving them shits out. Everybody is going to become a therapist, and then they just give bad advice to people. There's some real good ones out there, but this is something he should know. There's no reason why I should know this and he doesn't know this. The whole internal locus of control, that's just 101 type shit. So yeah, that's something that he has to. I don't feel like you can even be the type of man you need to be in a relationship if you don't have an internal locus of control. Alexis, I know you're good. When I say there's some good ones out there, that's who I think of. I see like the dress you have on, I'm like, she's one of them.
Yeah, and he also plans on moving to in Arkansas to where I live. Actually, I think we had thought about moving to Texas, but that's another thing. I'm like, I'm trying to take everything into consideration. I'm super observant. I'm trying to be observant of like how he handles everything, because I do know that
I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna play out.
Yeah.
You are going to be the masculine one in this relationship. I'll tell you right now, that's how this is playing out. You are going to be the masculine one in this relationship. You're going to be the one who has to be the problem solver.
Yeah, and I definitely I just feel like I deal with so much with like, I need another problem solver. I can't be the only one. I feel like I've dealt with that for way too long. So it's like I'm trying to hold hope, but at the same time, it's like also I am very good at putting myself first when I need to.
Right.
But it's like just trying to hold on and at least try to give it a chance and see if it changes.
I got you. But again, you look at trajectory, not potential. So how soon did you learn of this?
He was very upfront. Like I said, the first time we FaceTime, he was very upfront. Like, hey, I just want to let you know this is what is happening right now. I had surgery in November, so I'm going through this. Like, he was just upfront. He's like, I just want to let you know, instead of you finding out later.
Not about his situation, more so about like his tendency to complain about it.
I feel like everything just happened so fast. I don't know. I feel like I found out everything pretty soon, like at the beginning of the relationship.
Okay. Well, whether or not you continue with this person, it's like pay attention to those patterns at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, pay attention to those patterns at the beginning. I always tell people to like, when they're vetting is just observing somebody over time to ensure that their behaviors match your standards. Okay. And what I like to do is like observe patterns of behavior. So you're not like looking at one specific event, you're looking at patterns of behavior that map to a particular character trait. So in this situation, it's like, this would technically be a character trait, but like him having a external locus of control. So viewing life from an orientation of things happening to him instead of him happening to life. Now you know a man like that is not compatible with you. That don't mean give up on this relationship. You should still have a conversation with him in hopes that triggers something, even if it's just a reduction of him complaining. But understand, even if he doesn't complain, the next problem is because he's not solutions oriented, you're going to have to be.
Yeah, and then I have to ask myself, am I okay with dealing with that for the rest of my life?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if it doesn't work, now you have an additional metric to like judge connections by moving forward. Another lens to look at the connection from, like, okay, you now know that's important to you. So now your picker will get refined moving forward when it comes to the next connection. But I can tell you, not certainly, but based on how you described him, if he truly is not solutions focused, I'm taking your word for that. If he truly isn't, yeah, you're gonna have to be. You're gonna have to be that person in a relationship.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, I'll definitely be having a conversation with him.
Okay. Keep me posted, love, all right?
Okay, I will.
You take care.
Bye.
She gonna be just fine. I couldn't see a big profile pic. Pressure. I'm gonna swap him out. Go ahead and swap him out. Go ahead and replace him. Somebody else real quick. On Threads? It's musical chairs out of this bitch. We can very quickly go ahead and swap that person out. Unfortunate situation Buddy is in. But here's the thing. When you do have that external locus of control, you tend to have a lot of problems. The problems pile up. That's a good insight. Problems pile up because you're not aggressively moving towards them to solve them because you don't think you can. Except room for her in Dallas. We're packed up in Dallas. Yeah, remember, y'all, we're going to Dallas August 14th through the 17th. We're popping out. So me and the mods, we got an Airbnb. Got a few people staying with us. Capacity has been reached in the Airbnb, but we also have people who are flying out, getting hotels, because we're going to have a meetup in one of the barcades there on one of the days. And yeah, a few other things we're going to get into. So if you're in the area, you want to join, pop out. Show some crew love. No more calls, though. We're done with the calls. Because like our last caller, I too get tired of hearing problems. I'm just messing. Umi, you should have been came, man. You really let me down, Umi. You really let me down with this one. I thought you were going to be there. Last caller was a good lesson, though. Yeah. People who have an internal locus of control they have a higher quality of life and they tend to be happier. No more calls for real, love. I got to cut them off at 10:45 because sometimes they can go live. They can go long, I mean. We just talked too, didn't we? What was it, Manny? I feel like we just talked low-key. Manny, just come to Dallas and we'll have a conversation. We'll have a face-to-face in Dallas. How about that? That's all you got to do. And bring that dress you got on your profile pic too. I would not talk to you without it. You got to have that on. What was her name? Don't even get started. Certain ones I cannot share, but certain people in the chat have been marked. Okay. Dibs. I'm sorry. Fortunately. Marco, would you ever complain about finances to a woman? Never have. Well, I was about to say never have, never will. Young me did. But it wasn't like, when I say young me, like 22. Because I had to learn this lesson too. Because people don't teach you this shit. They don't teach you. That's why y'all are all here, partially. Because like, no one really teaches these things. You either get the toxic, like zero-sum game advice, where it's like the person giving you the advice wants you to win and the other person to lose, or then you get like the over-therapeutic clinical advice, which does have its place, but sometimes it's not grounded in reality. It's more so something that works on paper, but in practice, it has no utility. Y'all have seen like attachment specialists. They're like, just say this during conflict. Honey, I've noticed blah, blah, blah. Your nervous system is blah, 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 blah. It's like, don't nobody talk like that. That script has no utility. Nobody talks like that. If I was to try to have that conversation, we're going to fight more now because they're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking? Why are you talking to me like that? We're going to fight more now. So it's just hard finding like grounded advice from people. That's like practical. A lot of people give you like mindset things, again, which has its place. All these things have their place. But a lot of people don't unify it. So I try my hardest to like take all the models and unify them so I can give them to y'all. But I'm sure I'm missing something too. I'm not omniscient or infallible. Lolo, you still coming to Dallas, right? We got a lot of people coming to Dallas. You live in Dallas, never mind. We got a lot of people. I'm glad we capped the Airbnb. It sleeps 23. Not every therapist is the same. I'm aware. There are some great therapists out there. Listen, I will talk my shit about therapy, but I will point clients to therapy. There's clients in the chat right now. I pointed them to like somatic therapy. You know what I mean? There are therapists who I follow, who I admire because they're really knowledgeable. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's like hard for people to judge a good one. I remember I was looking for therapy one time, and like I was reading like the person's bio, and they were like, I like long walks on the beach, spending time with my kids. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you like. How are you gonna help me? I don't know how to gauge it without like literally booking a session with you and then gauging it from that. And who got the bread to do that? So I don't know how to like gauge the effectiveness of the person. You know? But the ones who I like seen from afar are like that. There was a book I was reading by a therapist, a male therapist who I found on Twitter some while back. Like the whole idea I told you I was like anger is a secondary emotion, that came from that book. So yeah, I know there's good ones out there. It's just every industry is like the Pareto principle. There's going to be 20% of the people in the industry who are really cooking. That's every industry. The same thing applies to doctors. You go to a doctor and you can tell they don't give a fuck about you. They hope your cough doesn't go away. They don't give a singular fuck. But you can tell they're just like listening to you. They're barely asking any questions. They're like, it's this, take this. And you're like, I feel like you didn't really listen to me for real. But then I went to a doctor, a functional medicine doctor, and he's like asking me questions for, I kid you not, an hour. He's very, very engaged, very like really focused on what I got going on, really trying to solve the puzzle. It's a different thing. He was in the 20% of the people in that industry who really could impact. But then the 80% of people who they just kind of fell into the career and they just do it now. You'd be surprised how many people correct doctors, medical doctors on their diagnosis. My mother has done that a few times. She's not a doctor or anything like that. She's just like, I feel like I've done that before. I'm going to the doctor. I was like, I'm having to ask him, I'm having to think, which I don't like. Which, I mean, you have to do it, right? You gotta, no one's going to take your health or anything more serious than you do. But it's like, I'm having to literally put on his coat. Doc, can I borrow the coat real quick? All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I think, you know what I mean? Well, it's that type of dynamic. Like, I'm having to really be Dr. House in this bitch to solve the problem. And then they end up agreeing with me. And then I solve my own problem. And I'm like, why did I come here for? You're going to hit me with a big medical bill. Most people are just incompetent. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter the industry. You have to take your health in your own hands. I agree. It doesn't matter the industry. Most people are people. And they're doing their job. And sometimes they not with the shits that day. You know? But yeah. This is what it is. Look at the dating coach and stuff. Like, Y'all been on this live. If you've been on this live, I'm sure you've been on other people's lives when they answer questions like this. Isn't there a difference between being here and being there? Isn't there a big difference? You see me ask hella questions. The other people don't ask nothing. They're like just listening. They're like, oh, you should leave. Based off of what? It's just Pareto principle is always at play. It's always at play. Danny in the chat talking about Lenin. Wish he discovered Lenin sooner. I love your questions and analogies. Appreciate you, love. I learned so much just by listening. I appreciate it. I was glad to find this live because people in life be like, won't you shut up? I don't want to read that book, motherfucker. I don't care about that insight. I want to do ignorant shit, hood rat shit with my friends. That's what I deal with in real life. So it was good to have an outlet where I can like nerd out on certain topics. Because the amount of people I've taught, like the same thing I tell y'all and you're like, oh my God, that was good, coach. I've said that same thing to another person and you can just see their eyes gloss over. Like, I don't fucking care, bro. I couldn't care less about this shit. You aren't clinical, but you do break it down. Yeah, I think that's like my edge is I'm obviously not a clinician, right? They do good work in their own way, some of them. But I think it's like going to the doctor too, right? Like they call it the burden of knowledge, where you're so knowledgeable in your field and you talk to your colleagues so much, you forget that the average person doesn't talk like this. I remember when I was like heavier years ago and I went to a doctor, the same doctor who I was like bigging up earlier. And he was like, yeah, you have to decrease your Oedipus tissue. I said, what? You have to decrease your Oedipus tissue. And then that was all the problem. I said, Oedipus tissue? Is that fat? He was like, yeah. Why didn't you just say fat? Why did you just not say fat? I don't understand why you didn't just say, you know what I mean? Like people do that though. When they go real deep into their profession and they're talking to their colleagues and talking to other people with advanced degrees, they start using that lingo. And you're like, whoa, I don't get what you're talking about. So it's like, what I'll do, I'm like Prometheus. You know, Prometheus stole fire from the gods and he gave it to mankind. So it's like, I'll go to the clinicians, learn that shit. Or learn what I'm able to learn, right? I'm learning everything. Learn what is useful for what I do, and then break it down into more easy to understand explanations. Because it's like when y'all like we talk about attachment styles. Why do you need to know so much about like your nervous system? It being hyperactivated or hypoactivated, and the window of tolerance, and you don't need to know these terms. I think they default to people want to understand why. And it's like some people do. A lot of people just want to know, how do I fix it? What do I do next? I don't need to understand these fucking neurochemicals. I don't need to understand that, bro. Just what do I do so that I don't go through this situation anymore? And then once it's solved, if I'm still curious, then you can give me that goofy ass explanation. But I don't even know that. Like when I was learning this stuff, like my clients have said this. Like I've had clients who have attachment issues and are like, I'm reading the book Attached right now. And I'm like, God bless you. You're not going to learn shit. You're going to be very knowledgeable on explaining what is happening and then be like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Because the people who wrote those books, their magical solution is just to find someone who is securely attached. Good fucking luck. You are better off finding Pikachu. Where are the securely attached people at? I certainly haven't came across one. They're all in relationships. Obviously, there are some people out there, but it's like, it's rare, brother. It's rare, brother. What? That's your solution? For us to just pair off with securely attached people? I don't think that's a solution, man. I don't think that's a solution. One of the people who co-wrote that book, she had a new book out. I like to stay up to date on things, so I read that, and that was still her solution. She like kind of found a way to like finesse it a bit and use different lingo, but it was still essentially like find someone securely attached. And I'm like, all right, enough of this nonsense. But the interesting thing that was in their book was that there seems to be, she believes there's a genetic component to anxious attachment and avoidant attachment, meaning it doesn't necessarily always have to be childhood experiences. It can be a genetic component to it itself. So you could be in the environment where it should produce a securely attached person and still come out avoidant or anxious. But fearful avoidant is still something that is trauma induced, which I thought was interesting. That's just her thoughts on it. Like I didn't go deeper into it, but I can see that being the case. Okay. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta run. So if you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live twice a day. I'll be live tomorrow at noon Eastern time and 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to watch the playback of these lives, they're on YouTube at The Signal Dating. Link in bio for that. Just hit that. Do your thing. Do your thing. Fellas, just dropped a video on YouTube for y'all about why I think being yourself is both the best advice given to men and simultaneously the worst advice as it pertains to dating. If you want to know why that's the case, check it out. Anyway, appreciate the mods, appreciate the chat. I will see you all tomorrow. Y'all take care.